I don't know if this footage is going to turn out. Doug, show me your smiling face. If there is one. Oh.
Smiling.
It's pretty dark in here, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where's your fancy light attachment?
I have no videotape of you in the 25 years that I've known you.
Also, every Thursday night for a couple of hours, she's a DJ on a pirate radio station.
My friend Dana came over today and
I'm zooming in on that eyeball of yours, little man. I got your eyeball covered.
I've been to one. They have them monthly, and I've been in my calling home on this. So I'll call President Mickelsen. He'll say don't come. But I think Andy.
Talk when you want, and I'll talk when I want.
Okay.
Yeah, Mrs. Seeley.
Mom, sit down.
It's for you. Well, again, you guys would all come and celebrate with Karen. After we're done with this, we are going to head back to our house for any of you that want to come, and we're going to have some cake and ice cream with, there's 15 or 16 little children that are waiting there from the Seeley Davis. But we're not sure whose they are.
We don't know how many are left after the death and injury.
And you know, we didn't talk about any of you bringing presents. We see that some of you did. If you did, fine. If you didn't, we're just glad you're here. You're more important than any present you could have brought. But there are those of you who did bring something that you want to give to the birthday girls, great. And then Joe and I have received some things from family that aren't here that we would like to read to the birthday girls as well.
They want to make us cry.
So, for those of you who did bring something, we'll let you start. Jean, why don't you? This is from.
Linda, this is from Linda.
This is from Karen's
You want me to
sister
start with
Linda.
this?
Yeah.
Somebody will have to bring
Okay.
that box
Do
in
you
here.
want me to read this thing?
Sure. Sure.
Okay, you can open and show. Well, I'll read. This says, when we were all quite young, our family still lived in a little red brick house on East Road. One year, Dad went to his shop and made us building blocks. He took pine wood 2x4s and cut them into 4 and 8 inch lengths. With these blocks, we were able to create towns, complete homes, stores, barns, and a church house. Our favorite place to play with the blocks was on the cold cement floor in the basement. It was firm, flat, and made a wonderful foundation for our towns and buildings. Often we would use the blocks to build towers. We would carefully calculate where to put the next blocks. It was always amazing how we could take so much time to build our tower, but then with the simple toss of a ball, it would come crashing down. Now we are all grown. We no longer live on East River Road with our parents, brothers and sisters. We now have children of our own, and now more than ever we understand how important it is to build our families on eternal principles, to live our own family ethics, to help our children gain testimonies of their own, and to continue to build the kingdom. We all love you and recognize the teachings our lives have been built upon. Thank you, Mark, Don, Jean, Karen, Lynn, Jan, Marilyn, and Paul.
That's from Karen's. Karen, tell them about the blocks here.
My little sister Linda made these for my parents for Christmas and made one for everybody. How many are there? 55 of us?
Oh my word.
So what's on the block? 63.
And so this one, this is my cute husband here.
Hold that up, Karen.
In our family, my dad's number 1, my mom's number 2, and then as kids entered, they all were assigned a number. So when Mark married into the family, he was number 15. And when our new baby's going to be born, she will be 54. So I guess they're not 55 yet. You're going to be 55. So, and then they have everybody's birthday, their number, and descriptive words about them.
Wow. Yeah, that's neat.
So everybody next year for Christmas is what you can do for your family.
That is such a cute idea.
If you want to take all this time.
Linda says it's not worth it.
All right, Joey, your turn. Why don't you do one?
Okay.
Seeley one.
All right. Becky has a little sister, Julie, who lives in Hawaii and couldn't be with her with us, but was very, very excited about what we were up to today and wanted to make sure that she could share some sentiments. So this is what Julie writes to Rebecca. Don't cry.
Say that. I'll just start crying for no reason.
Julie says, "Aloha, Rebecca, Becky from the land of warmth and sunshine. Everyone knows what aloha means. But I think it's ironic that there is no direct translation in English. In ancient Hawaiian, everybody was greeted with a kiss on the cheek. The ha in aloha is the act of breathing in the other person's breath, or ha. In Hawaiian culture, this is the essence of self. Your joy, who you are, your truth. That's why white people called Hali are man without breath, because the white foreigners would not greet the natives with a kiss and share their ha. Perhaps without knowing it, Becky exudes aloha. She welcomes everyone to her home. Everyone is worthy of unconditional respect. She has a non-judgmental, live and let live attitude that everyone feels comfortable around. And how could you not? She's fun to be with, doesn't take things too seriously, and always tries to find the fun in life's daily adventures and detours. Thank you, Becky, for being who you are and being the example you are for all of us. I love you, and I can't wait to see you. Happy birthday. Love, Julie and little Corlani.
Now, Karen has a sister in Texas, and she sent her, the gift that this sister brought. I actually left it at home because there was no way to get that here without you figuring it out. But I did bring the card that she wrote.
So Marilyn sent a gift?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's at home. So this is the card from Karen's sister, Marilyn. Dear Karen, I hope you're having a great 40th birthday. You are such a great sister and a very fun person to be with and to talk to. I'm very grateful for the many times you have listened to my pleas for advice on just about any and every topic. You are the first person I call when I find myself in a bind, because not only do you have sound advice, but you also give it without placing judgment. I believe that one of the reasons you're able to do this is because of your unwavering decision to stand for truth and righteousness. I'll never forget a particularly difficult time in my life when I called Dad and said, I need to go to San Diego. Thankfully, he sent me on the plane the very next day. You were great. We painted your bathroom and just talked. You probably have no idea how healing that was for me. It was just a few months later that Mike and I started dating. I truly feel that my visit to San Diego was my springboard back to being my normal, happy self. So for that time and the many other times, recipes, church talks, callings, relationships, etc., 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 thank you. From all of us here in Houston, we wish you the best birthday. We miss you and wish we could visit as often as we used to. Love, Mike, Marilyn, and kids.
Where do they live?
In Texas.
Becky has another sibling, a younger brother, Brent, and his wife Rachel, who are in Arizona. And they send the following sentiments. Dear Becky, happy 40th birthday. We remember talking to you specifically to you last time we were out, which was recently, by the way, about how much you love the idea of a huge surprise party for your birthday. I'm sure by now you've accepted it, or are having a great time, or else you're already planning Joe's painful death by accidentally adding pine salt to his dinner.
I did tell them.
We are very sorry.
Thankfully, he didn't listen.
That's right, we ignored you. We are so sorry we weren't able to be there for you to help you celebrate and take some of the blame for the surprise. We always love spending time with you and your family. We at least wanted to send you along a note to tell you how wonderful we think you are. You're such a good example to us. Seeing the way you prioritize your life helps us make decisions in our own family. Each time we come and visit, we leave with ideas from your family on the way we can make our lives better, and it's hardly ever ideas of what not to do. We appreciate so much how laid back you are with our kids. They have three small boys who can work up a head of energy, that's for sure. I don't think there are many people who would be willing, let alone happy, to let us and our noisy, messy, rowdy boys invade your house. We always comment how comfortable and relaxed we feel in the environment of your house. We feel very lucky to be able to have such good examples like you. Your dedication to constantly improving yourself, except for Joe quitting basketball. Mark, you need to work on that.
Amen.
Caring for your kids and growing in the gospel are all things we love about you. We hope you have a fantastic birthday and are very blessed as you begin your 5th decade. I thought that sounded a lot older than just saying happy 40th. That's Brent.
Decade.
We look forward to spending as much of it with you as we can. Love, Brent and Rachel.
Well, we have two others to read, but I thought before we bore you with too much reading, I know Shanda and Jim. I don't know if you've met them, but Jim's my significantly older brother. And his child brother.
Everyone says I'm younger, though. So I have to correct them.
You're only as old as you married.
Just look at the hair. Just look at the hairline. So anyway, but I know they have something. So.
Okay, so these are for you. Happy birthday. And your card's in the car, sorry. And Jim gets all the credit for pulling this one together. And then this is just one of my favorites that I thought you would love.
Thank you.
Okay, well let's see what it is, sweetie.
I'm gonna open Shanna's first. Ooh.
It's just one of my favorites. You might think it's silly. It's in our shower.
Oh, I thought it was a candle.
No, what it is,
It's a salt scrub.
It's a what?
it's a salt.
I'm a guy. Just talk guys.
It's an exfoliator, and you literally in the shower and use your baby and on your tummy, and it exfoliates, and it smells good, and it tingles, and it feels.
And you never do it by yourself.
No, you can do it by yourself.
We didn't need to know that. We didn't need to know that.
Ooh, Cold Stone.
That's to go along with all the birthday cards I have in the car for the children who didn't get any. There's a little extra so you can take your hubbies and see a few months away.
Rachel still has hers. She's hanging on to it.
So you didn't have a card.
Oh, for Becky.
Oh.
Hers is in the car.
Thank you.
Ooh, what we got?
Look.
Oh, wow.
We saw. Oh, you already saw it?
I took it out. I didn't see it.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
So that's the whole Davis family. That I don't.
Jack
Jack had been throwing up
Jack
that.
throwing up. There's not one picture with him smiling in the
Jack
group
was
one.
That
so
is
sick.
priceless. Thank you so much.
Where is
There's
it
more in
taken?
there.
That was at their wedding, November of last year.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that one at the temple?
No,
That
was
one's
at
at the
reception.
Berthas.
Oh, look. And this was also at the wedding. This is just our family. It's some
That's
great. These are
Nice job,
great.
guys.
Is that it?
She's the
Oh,
mother
there's one
of
more.
this kid. That's Carmen Queen.
And I never did email you that photo you asked me to get.
It's all right.
After we,
There's plenty more. These are, I just want you to know, Karen,
both of us just
only for your
graduated
birthday. Okay, we just thought you only have one boy, and there was that, and we thought it was so cute.
That is cute.
There's many more to
Oh,
follow.
he took after his father.
I just thought it was so cute, you guys. So you will get the first pictures of anybody. My mother doesn't even have one from the
We
wedding.
still have a
I'm looking at me every time.
Jim got the printer set up and did all the touch-ups. So.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Joe, you're on.
Rose?
I have some cards for Becky, and Rebecca is my sister-in-law, but she's.
Thank you, Rose.
I have something else for you. We'll have to talk about it later. And Karen, you're my friend.
Thank
Any
you so much.
association with the Seeley family, thank you.
Okay, well we'll give you another letter. This one comes from Karen's sister Janet up in Oregon. Ever since I can remember, it has always been fun to be with Karen. I loved being able to tag along with her even when she was in high school. I thought I was so cool because she would let me come along. I remember being taken to McDonald's drive-thru and experiencing my first McDonald's ice cream cone.
Just don't tell Mom.
And then, just don't tell Mom, that's right. And then it seemed like many more after that. I loved going to the credit union where she worked and remember thinking of how neat it would be to work there when I was older. One of the most fun pastimes was riding around Idaho Falls in the blue Datsun 510, passing the boys, the Hoovers, Fells, Mace's house, or whoever else's house we could come up with and honking the horn as we passed. I also wanted to be like Karen. I remember getting my first basketball high tops and how excited I was because I could be like Karen. I remember her high tops and gray sweats that she was very often seen in. I also remember visiting Karen and Jean at their first apartment at BYU and how fun that was. She always made me feel like I was important, and it was always comfortable to be around her. Now we have our families and we live in separate states. It's still fun to go to the Davis house. We have always taken whatever opportunity to go to San Diego, and it's not because of the location, but more because of how fun and comfortable it is at the Davis house. We know we are always welcome there and always will be. This Thanksgiving, I discovered something else about the Davises. Not only is it fun at their house, but they bring that same spirit wherever they are. It was great to have their family with us at Thanksgiving because it was like we had a little of the Davis home with us here in Oregon. Thanks, Karen, for being such a great sister, always caring, loving, aware, easygoing, fun, patient, etc. Happy birthday from the Lighthearts. Okay?
Very nice. Grandma Kathy, you want to go?
Yeah,
Here we are. With condolences on turning 40.
Yeah. No, love. With lots of love. When Joe called me and asked us if we would come, well, first it was just me coming because Dad doesn't get off very much. And all of a sudden he got time off. Oh yeah, I brought a little knife.
Well,
to do that.
he works just as well.
Yeah, he did. Joe, you might need to have some more.
Okay.
But this popped into my mind right away. And something that I thought was definitely Becky. And I called Joe back and I said, look on the internet. This is the company that makes what she's going to open. Maybe you have seen these. And so we both looked at them, and then he called me back and he told me the one he thought was classic to go with. So that's the one that you're going to do.
Is that right sign up or?
It's really well packaged.
Yeah, I said, if this breaks, whose fault is it? He says, UPS.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's very pretty. I've never seen it. I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen it? Well, there's
Can we buy extra figures?
Thank you. Love it.
Quarantine.
of course, who we had in mind was their last little baby.
Yeah, and Nicole, because she's like
Well, Nicole and Camille.
Which of your daughters is that? Did you think that was
Camille and Nicole probably.
Nicole or Katie?
Maybe Kate.
Whichever.
Baby's always in somebody's
Any of those girls that she has, which are many.
The sculpture is called In Her Mother's Footsteps.
Yes, and and I didn't want to disturb it too much in case I didn't pick the right one. You can see on the internet many of them that this lady creates. Dennis Smith is our fourth cousin. He's a sculptor, and the life-size figure of this woman, his mother and her children, is in the garden in Nauvoo. Or in Salt Lake, or maybe both. I don't know where he has all of his sculptures. But his life-size sculpture, she sometimes copies. And this is one that Sister Hanson, Mrs. Hanson, copied from Dennis Smith, who turns out to have the same fourth grandfather that we do. So he's our cousin. And he's up in Alpine, Utah. And I have recently contacted him. We went to Denmark. He did a sculpture for those saints that left Denmark. And he did a great big one. Great big family. And his family members are in there, and so is so far.
Thank you, Grandma.
That's beautiful.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
Thanks, Grams.
Hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Sure.
You have to write anything nice.
Those beautiful flowers. Aren't those flowers?
We just had a couple of things.
Here, Beck.
And I'm just going to have to say something. No, I can't throw very Karen and I are just year apart. My last name now is Karen. And half my first half of my life, I was either called Jean or Karen. Second half of my life, I'm either called Jean or Karen. They don't necessarily know my sister. But Karen probably doesn't even realize how much I've always needed her. I was always the older sister, and everybody thought that I was the one who directed traffic. But no, I always really needed Karen because of her security. She's always so comfortable in her own skin, and I've always wanted to grow up and be like my little sister.
It was just after seeing Jaws.
Yeah, well, I have those terrible insecurities still. But I love you very much, and so does your sister Leanne. Love you. And she just took my replacement. Leanne's kind of replaced Karen in my life. Now she took her away. Now you have Leanne. I guess now I'm here. I'm not leaving.
We always need Jean too. That's why she's here.
And where do you live?
I'm in Orange.
You're in Orange. That's right. And the weather. You're just a phone call away.
Yes, she is.
You're just an email away.
And Leanne and I thought, since all the sisters couldn't be here, we thought we'd bring them to you.
So how many sisters are there?
There are 6 girls.
6 girls.
Get that out.
Are there any brothers?
There are 3 brothers.
3 brothers and
The
6.
6 girls are all together. The 2 boys were first, and then 6 girls, and then my poor little brother came after 6 girls. Thought he was a girl too. So.
Oh, bless his soul.
You guys feminized him, but. Oh, that's the greatest picture.
This is awesome. So 80s, 70s, 80s.
That's 70s, yeah.
Everybody's hair was
Look at those dudes.
They all had the hair.
Farrah Fawcett.
Exactly,
They
exactly.
all had the hair.
Now, this is a few years ago.
No, last week.
They did the hair special just for this.
They had to have a wide angle camera to get the hair in.
Get all the hair.
They balled the hair for you.
Hey, Jean. Jean has a team. We should get down there so I can get all 3 of y'all together.
Okay.
Is that okay? I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were still in the middle of
Oh, cute.
Nice, Ann. Excellent.
Cyrus is behind.
Fire away.
On a potato
One
farm.
big card.
Is your mother and dad still there?
big, so this I'm
Part-time. And my brothers are still there. I don't know.
The one that just spoke?
no. This is okay. Jean, are you wearing the plaid, the red and black? No, I'm the youngest.
She is the full hair. Look at the hair. The fullest.
Jean has the biggest hair.
Jean, the oldest, has to have the biggest hair.
With the black.
And the one that's standing
Jean
up.
could always get the biggest hair. We were all close. But then Jean would get up at 4:30 a.m. to start on the hair.
I've heard those stories too.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember doing those weeks.
7:30.
Ooh, that's nice.
Pretty.
Oh, that's cute.
That's nice.
Oh, it's got a little mirror on the
No
top.
secret compartments.
Mark, you're going to have to fill it up now, aren't you?
Oh, there was something in there.
Not that
How
one.
about that one?
All the way full. It's not all the way full. It's not all the way full.
You didn't fill it before you gave it to her?
Well, there's stuff in it.
That's fine.
Dog's got that taken care of, don't worry.
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks, Shannon.
There's just too many siblings in my family.
Oh, man, Milnes. Milnes over in the corner.
Nothing special.
Do you want me to wrap these things up?
That's your
Well,
job.
the balloons, you can take them to the kids and let them fight them.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
We're all going to have it in my house.
Rebecca, we do have something else for you that's not quite that yet. So we couldn't wait.
Oh, and Dawn's right too. She's coming.
Wait, that means you're making them. That's so nice.
Look at him.
Thank you guys. I was just telling Joan
Can you
Becky.
That is
believe?
some serious.
In regards to a present from me, there is a small present for my wife for me at home, but I wasn't joking. Jean really was Karen's present, and I think we hit a home run with that. Karen's mom, regardless of how old her children get, whether they're financially stable or not, always sends them money in a very kind way. So here's what Karen's mom said. Karen, and I don't understand this, maybe you can explain that. But Karen, to the, quote, apple of our eye, unquote, especially on your day, January 8th, 2005, we love you and express our sincere gratitude, Dad, love Dad and Mom. P.S. Some days I want to become as good a woman as you. Someday I want to become. Someday, not some days I do. Someday I want to become as good a woman as you are. You are perfect in my eye. Love, Mom.
Okay, did she make this? This is her tatting.
Oh, did she make that? Oh, okay. Well, then that explains it.
Did she just start crochet hook that is just teeny?
That's unbelievable.
It's called tatting?
Yeah. Tatting.
Pass that around.
That's the crochet. She just did this,
On the outside.
but it's crochet.
Has she always done that?
No.
Has she always
She just learned how to
That
tat.
comes later. I don't believe it.
Really?
Wow, that's gorgeous.
My
Just
mother
threw it
likes
on.
to do that.
Oh, you're good to go.
It's something else.
All
I
right.
got rid of that.
Joe, anything else you want to add? No. All right. Well, I think then we'll.
You want to say if you want first.
Who was born first? Mom, what time was I born?
Testing 1, 2.
Please don't make her don't make.
Like
Middle of the night.
I think you were born
I was
first.
born about, yeah, I'd say about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's Becky. So you're first then.
Maybe it was same time.
There you go.
Thank you.
Were you
Mom.
born
I'm so
also in
glad
the
you're
middle of the
here.
night?
And though I did tell my husband, no parties, let's just have a nice quiet dinner or something. I'm so glad you're here and I love you all dearly. And Karen's family and Mark and Karen's family as much as my family. Thank you all. And I told my mom I'm feeling pretty old today, so she must be feeling pretty old. Mom, half of this is for you. And I love you a lot, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, honey. I love you.
Well, I went through every scenario. I knew my husband would want to do something for my 40th birthday. And my brain just kind of works that way. But I went through every scenario of who we would spend it with and what we would do. And to walk in and see the Seeleys and the Malins of my family, and the Batsons are my family too. There couldn't be a better crowd to be with today. Joe and Becky are our family here, and so much of what they are is because of who all of you are. And now we have more family down here with Jim and Shanda up in LA and Leanne and Cyrus who just moved down. And we haven't been your family for a long time. So you guys have been our family for a long time, so thank you. And now these so they'll get to know you
Just
better.
have a weird party.
Now she's 68, I don't know how to
Claire, those are kind of messy. Let's let Grandma open her presents and then we'll get some cake and ice
for my
cream.
birthday, Grandma. I got jewelry from Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Rachel.
Oh, that's so good for dinner.